Have you ever felt like the weight of your past, the struggles, the heartbreak, the disappointments is something you'll never be able to let go of? Like, no matter how much time passes, those emotions, those memories still linger, pulling you back, holding you down? Well, the good news is you don't have to stay trapped in the pain of your past. I know this because I've lived it. After surviving years of abuse and deep trauma, I discovered that healing isn't just about surviving, it's about reclaiming ourselves, the real and natural version, before life's experiences changed us. It's about breaking free from fear, self doubt, and bitterness so we can live with strength, clarity, and inner peace. I found that many people carry the weight of their past because they fear that the healing process will be painful. But here's the truth: healing doesn't have to be painful. You don't have to relive every wound to move forward. That's why I created the positive perspective method for healing. It's a simple yet powerful approach that helps you see the hidden gifts within your struggles, not just to heal from the past, but to change how you approach life today. When you embrace this perspective, you can reduce stress and emotional overwhelm. You can break free from limiting beliefs that hold you back and navigate challenges with strength and clarity. And finally, find real inner peace, self acceptance, and freedom. Healing isn't about forgetting what happened, it's about reclaiming your power and choosing who you want to be next. I know firsthand that true healing leads to liberation, and when you're free, you can finally live the life you were meant for. And when you heal, you don't just change your own life, you create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. I'm not sure what experiences you have had in your life, but whether your experiences mirror mine or are different, the principles of healing that I will share with you apply to all of us. Healing can be an enjoyable process of discovery, acceptance, and empowerment. The three-step process I will guide you through is unlike traditional approaches to healing. We will not begin by diving into the pain of the past or revisiting every difficult moment in life that has left a scar. Instead, we will start with something powerful, a new approach, a new perspective. This new perspective creates personal strength, clarity, and confidence. You will be equipped with the tools to face past challenges, harvest the gifts within those moments, and leave the pain behind. I like to think of it as a quest for treasure. Imagine a hidden treasure chest buried deep in the earth, beneath layers of dirt and darkness. At first glance, it seems undesirable. Its surface is tarnished and caked in grime. But when you unearth it and lift the heavy lid, what you find inside changes everything. The chest is filled with glimmering treasures, rare gems, and precious artifacts, hidden gifts of immeasurable value. Your past pain and emotional scars are much like that treasure chest. On the surface, they appear as nothing more than sources of hurt or hardship. Yet approaching them with this new perspective will give you the strength to open that heavy lid and uncover the gifts within. These treasures are waiting for you not to cause you more suffering, but to reward you with the treasure you earned from those experiences. This process begins with recognizing that the challenges, struggles, and even traumas you have faced or will face are not roadblocks, but gifts. The core concept in this step is that every experience, good or bad, has taught you something of value. What is that something? That is your gift of growth. These experiences hold opportunities for growth, strength, and empowerment. By gaining this understanding, you can reframe how you see your challenges. Rather than feeling like a victim of life's hardships, you'll begin to see them as sources of power, strength, and insight. When reflecting on a past challenge, one of the most powerful steps you can take is to see the situation for what it was, not for what you wished it to be. Many times we endure unnecessary suffering because we mourn a loss based on what we wanted it to be, not what it actually was. This honesty, self awareness, and acceptance are essential in reframing difficult experiences because they ground you in reality. When you cling to an idealized version of how things should have been, we rob ourselves from the clarity needed to grow. With this clarity, you can see the experience for what it taught you, how it shaped your resilience, and how it revealed your inner strength. True healing begins when you acknowledge what it is and use it as a stepping stone to move forward. Now, think about a challenge you faced or are facing, write it down. Here's an example. My toxic relationship ended, but I still feel heartbroken and lost. I don't know how to move forward or set boundaries with my ex. Now that you've written it down, we want to reframe the challenge. First question you need to ask yourself is, am I mourning the loss of the person or situation, or the version of the person that you had hoped they would be? Then ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can I grow through this? Example, this teaches me the importance of valuing myself and my boundaries. It's an opportunity to focus on my needs and learn to build healthier relationships moving forward. This ending isn't a loss, it's a new beginning. Now, this shift in perspective is the foundation of healing without pain. Look at your past and harvest the lesson from it. It is your greatest teacher. Practice this exercise with as many experiences as needed until you are comfortable reframing your thoughts. Be kind to yourself in the process. Reflecting on past hurtful situations can be a deeply transformative process. It's important to remember that it's okay if you made mistakes during those experiences. You're human, and growth comes from recognizing where you could have acted differently too. In fact, being aware of your own role in the situation is liberating because it gives you insight into what you can change moving forward. This self awareness not only fosters personal growth, but also allows you to reclaim a sense of control over the experience. By focusing on what you've learned and how you can approach future challenges, you can shift from feeling powerless to powerful. The key is to be honest with yourself and compassionate. Acknowledge imperfections while celebrating your courage to learn and grow. I discovered this in my own healing journey, and it was a realization that changed everything for me. For over 30 years, I lived in an abusive marriage. I lived in a cycle of hope and heartbreak. When my marriage ended, I felt a deep sadness, not just for the loss of my relationship, but for the future I had clung to so tightly. Even though deep down I knew that version of my future was never going to be a reality, I still mourned it. I grieved the family I wanted to keep together, the safe and loving home I had imagined, and the happiness I had convinced myself was just out of reach, but still possible. If I could just hold on a little longer. Until one day I did something different. Instead of drowning in regret, I looked back, not to relive the pain, but to understand it. And what I realized shook me to my core. For years, I had waited, I had adjusted, endured, and sacrificed, but I had never truly taken action. I had convinced myself that if I could just be more patient, if I could just try a little harder, then maybe things would change. Maybe I could finally have the love, safety, and connection I so desperately craved. But that was never going to happen. I had never shared my struggles. I had never asked for help. I had never set a boundary or made a plan to change my reality. Instead, I had unknowingly made myself a victim by my own inaction. That truth was liberating because once I saw it clearly, I understood something that was life changing. I did have control. I always had control. I could have spoken up. I could have reached out for help. I could have taken a step, any step, towards a different path. And even though I couldn't change the past, I was able to learn from it. I took that realization and turned it into personal power. The power to never again stay silent in my own suffering, the power to trust myself to take action when I needed to, and the power to forgive myself for not knowing then what I know now. That single shift in perspective brought me peace, a deep, lasting peace I had never felt before. I no longer carried the same fear or uncertainty because now I knew that I was strong enough to make different choices. My past had become my teacher, not my prison. And that lesson, it set me free from my past and the regrets that were weighing down on me for so long. So remember this, no matter what you've been through, your past does not define your future. Your past holds wisdom. Your regrets hold lessons. And the moment you stop seeing your past as a weight and start seeing it as a gift, everything changes. And I promise you are stronger than you think. Remember, the primary goal is to create a healing journey that is enjoyable, not painful. Every single experience in life has taught you something. What is that something? The next step is to identify the root causes of situations, experiences, or emotions that have been keeping you from living your best life. Recognize and release. In this step, we're going to take a deeper look to uncover the root of what's holding you back and begin the process of releasing it. This gentle step-by-step process will empower you to let go without reopening wounds. What emotional blocks are preventing you from living your best life? These blocks often stem from unconscious beliefs, experiences, or stories we've told ourselves for so long that we feel like they're unchangeable truths. The truth is, you control your thoughts, and only you. Many of us listen to harsh words from others and accept it as if it were a reality. Start by reflecting on the areas where you feel stuck or dissatisfied. What beliefs or patterns might be contributing to these feelings? When you find yourself reacting to a trigger or feeling overwhelmed, pause and ask, what are these emotions? Why do I feel this way? Then go even deeper and ask yourself, when was the first time I felt this way? Often the answers will lead you to the core emotional wound or belief at the root of the block. Approach these moments with clarity and curiosity, not fear. Once you've identified the emotional block and its source, the next step is to challenge and release it. Recognize that these beliefs and feelings, while very powerful, do not define you and no longer serve your growth. Identify the specific emotion tied to the block, fear, shame, guilt, sadness, and permit yourself to let it go. Releasing these emotions can feel like shedding a heavy weight, freeing you to move forward with clarity and purpose. Here's an exercise. Question their validity. Is this belief true, or is it just a story I've been telling myself? Once you do that, then rewrite the story. Once you have challenged the belief, replace it with a new one. Examine the experience honestly and consider what you could have done different. If you place all the blame on another person and don't take responsibility for your own actions, you give away your power and all your control. True forgiveness is not about absolving others of their wrongdoings or excusing behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the heavy prison of resentment, bitterness, and anger. Holding on to these emotions keeps you tied to the pain of the past, preventing you from fully embracing the life you deserve. To find true freedom, you must forgive yourself for any mistakes or regrets and extend the same forgiveness to anyone involved in your pain. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, it changes your relationship with it, allowing you to move forward with peace, clarity, and the ability to truly heal. If you are holding on to bitterness for someone or a situation, it's likely that you're waiting for an apology or an explanation. But by doing that, you're giving away your power. Take control by accepting the situation for what it was and release the need for closure. Your inner peace needs to be your priority. Here's a great exercise. Write a letter to the person that hurt you. You don't have to send the letter, but express your feelings honestly and openly, what they did, how it affected you, and the pain it caused. Then, as you conclude the letter, make the conscious decision to forgive. You don't send the letter. The act of writing it is for your healing. Once you've written the letter, you can choose to burn it, bury it, or whatever feels right to symbolize the release of the pain. I've personally done this several times, and I like to burn it. The next important piece is to forgive yourself. A powerful practice for self-forgiveness is to write down all the things you feel guilty or ashamed about, everything you've been holding against yourself. Then one by one, consciously release them. Acknowledge the circumstances, understand the context, and then let go of the judgment. As you go through this process, remind yourself that you are human and that forgiveness is a vital part of the healing journey. Take the lesson and leave behind the guilt or regret. Healing is not just a recovery process, it's a journey of rediscovery. It's about uncovering the strength, wisdom, and the beauty shaped by your challenges and experiences. By reflecting on your past, recognizing the root of your emotional blocks, and embracing the power of forgiveness, you take control of your life. You transform pain into empowerment, scars into sources of strength, and experiences into opportunities for growth. This journey isn't about perfection or erasing the past. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it to propel yourself towards a life of freedom, resilience, and purpose. You are not defined by the pain you've endured, but by the way you rise above it, harness its lessons, and turn it into a force for good in your life. The tools and exercises you've explored here are just the beginning. As you continue to reflect, release, and forgive, you'll find that healing is not something to dread, but a gift to embrace and a path towards the best version of yourself. With every step, you're creating a life rooted in self-awareness, self-love, and boundless possibility. Always remember, you control your life and your thoughts. Thank you for letting me share this information with you.